Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Eddie, and we're back at it again with Iron Lung by David Szymanski. Now you're probably asking yourself, didn't you already play this? Well, yeah, I did. But I felt like playing it again because I've seen the Iron Lung movie. I've become very, very fascinated by it. And also I didn't 100% this game. I have like 2 achievements left, so I figured let's play it again, get those 2 last achievements, and talk about the movie. Compare the movie and the game, talk about the lore, and talk about some theories that I've basically learned from watching videos and stuff like that. I've become very, very fascinated by this universe. It is extremely fascinating. It's kind of terrifying when you really think about it, and it's just so cosmic. It's just cosmic horror, and it's just super duper cool from what I've learned and stuff. And also, like, what I realized is I didn't read everything in the computer or what was on the computer. Like there's a ton of lore that I have not covered in that. There are also some areas that I did not explore with the submarine. Like I didn't cruise through these like, you know, these areas, you know, where I probably could have. And who knows, maybe there would have been a different outcome if I explored these areas. But also I'm just super duper curious because, like, when you look at the map, it's massive. So yeah, so that's pretty much what we're going to be doing here. So let's just go ahead and get started, shall we? And here we go. All right. Decades ago, every known star inhabitable planet vanished, leaving only those who were on space stations or starships. This event became known as the Quiet Rapture. With supplies dwindling and infrastructure crumbling, survivors are searching for any trace of natural resources in a universe of barren moons, lit by the ghost light of vanished stars. One such moon holds a strange anomaly, an ocean of blood. You are a convict, tasked with exploring this anomaly in a makeshift submarine nicknamed the Iron Lung. It was not designed for this depth, so you will be welded inside and the forward window will be closed. There was no time for training. If successful, you earn your freedom. Press any key to continue. Ha.
Beginning your descent. Cruising depth in roughly 40 seconds. Stand by. I'm seeing some voltage irregularities in the instruments, so keep an eye out for sparks or flames or anything like that. Approaching maximum depth. The hull's feeling it, but it's still holding strong. Closing port hole shielding. We're starting to lose radio signal. You'll be at cruise depth soon, so refreshing and be careful. You're on your own.
All right, here we are. Oh yeah, spoiler warning, spoilers in case you haven't seen the movie. If you haven't, please do so. It's a great movie. Please show Markiplier your support. I think you can purchase it on YouTube Movies. That's pretty much where I got it from. Yeah, it's been out for a while, so you should be able to find it anywhere. But yeah, please, it's such a good movie. I really, really liked it. But anyways, the reason I say spoilers right away is because the dialogue that you heard in the beginning of this game is exactly how the movie starts. Instead of David Szymanski, who I believe was the voice in this game, is not voiced by him in the movie. It was actually an actress. I can't remember her name. She plays such an important role in that movie. Yeah, she was so good. Everybody in that movie was absolutely amazing. That's another thing too. There were more characters in the movie than in the game. In the game, it's just you. It's just you in the submarine with your thoughts and stuff, and you're going mad and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But in the movie, there are more characters other than just the main one, who's played by Markiplier, named Simon. In the movie, Simon actually goes back up to the surface in the submarine. He goes back up and stuff. In this game, you do not. You stay in the ocean and you explore on your own with no communication and basically die. But yeah, in the movie, Simon is able to communicate with some characters in the surface and stuff like that, just to like basically share some info that he collected. So it was kind of nice because then you kind of get to understand like the motives and the perspective of the characters, you know, above the surface and what they're trying to do, what their goal is and everything like that. And kind of just like, I don't know, like in a way, kind of explore the differences between Simon and the characters above, because there's definitely some conflict, some tension between the two of them and everything. I mean, after all, because Simon is actually a convict from an enemy spaceship and stuff. So obviously he's going to be a little bit bitter to, you know, the people above. But yeah, and that was just a huge difference. But the setup, like, this is just exactly like, this was replicated perfectly in the movie. Like, it was absolutely amazing. Like, the controls were the same, the window shut was the same, the oxygen levels over here, the freaking pictures over here, the fire extinguisher. This was a much bigger screen. It was like, I think it was like human size and stuff, but that was really cool. And you kind of get some questions answered, because there were definitely some questions in the game where I was just like, how does this work? What does this mean? Or whatever the heck. Like, for example, this picture right here is an X-ray. So you're basically taking X-rays just so you can see what's in the ocean of blood, obviously. I'm actually going to turn around because I'm very curious to see what's behind us, which is nothing. All right, let's see. Let's check it out. Yeah, that's basically nothing. And then also, like, if you look at the poster of Iron Lung, you'll notice that the submarine has these like strings and stuff. That way Simon is able to be pulled up to the surface and share the info that he collects. But it was just super duper cool. There was a crazy scene in the movie, where Simon like gets a little frustrated with the scientists, or with the people above. They were just not cooperating with him. So he gets very frustrated. He gets very impatient, and he actually takes a picture to see what's outside, and he accidentally X-rayed the people outside that were working on the submarine. So basically what happened was he took an X-ray and just basically gave people radiation poisoning, which was dear Lord. But yeah, so that was very crazy. That was pretty intense. And what's also super funny is that one of the characters that he gave radiation poisoning to was none other than Jacksepticeye's character named Jack in the movie. So he makes a cameo. He like comes up to this window over here, like they open it up and everything just so Simon can communicate with the actress, which I feel so freaking bad that I can't remember her name. She was absolutely amazing. She deserves all the love and praise. But yeah, Jacksepticeye, like, he pops up to the window and he just someone's excited about Jacksepticeye. But yeah, he pops up through the window and stuff and just gives like a death stare to Markiplier. They just both just like lock eyes to each other. Jacksepticeye is obviously frustrated because he got exposed to radiation, and but there's nothing he can do. So that was a very crazy scene, and that's cool to know what this camera does. Because I mean, how else can you X-ray, or how else can you take pictures under blood? But yeah, so that's a pretty cool little thing that I learned in the movie. But anyways, let's type some things in this computer so we can understand the lore, and then I can summarize it for you guys. Let's see. In 357 EIC, without any prior warning, radio contact with our respective planets was suddenly cut. Nobody can recall having visual contact with any planets when the incident occurred, only experiencing any other unusual phenomenon, so it's uncertain what exactly might have happened. Upon investigation, it was observed independently by several stations that where there had previously been planets, nothing remained. Further investigation over the following months revealed that all known planets with sentient life, flora and fauna, a habitable atmosphere, or any sort of natural resources were likewise gone, along with all known stars. The only celestial bodies that have been found since are either uninhabitable moons or asteroids. Many theories have been proposed for this disaster, including religious interpretations of it as a literal rapture, some known quantum anomaly, or something more cosmic and sinister. There are no concrete answers yet. So yeah, they settled the term the biblical term. I think it's a biblical term. I apologize if I am just, kind of misinforming you guys. But the rapture, it is a term that is mentioned in the book of Revelations, which is, I guess, in a way, the sequel to the Bible. What happens in the book is there is a moment where the world ends. All hell breaks loose. It's the end of the world, and people are only saved if you had like faith in God and everything. And what happens is people are chosen to be sent to heaven, while the rest of the people that I guess had no faith stay in earth and perish. And it's a very, very scary thing. It's absolutely terrifying. It's a prediction of how the world might actually end in real life. So very, very intense stuff. But that's basically where they got. That's how they settled with the term. I mean, that's technically what kind of happened in this universe, in this game. Just all life kind of just disappears. It's pretty scary stuff. Very, very wild. And I don't know why, but my brain goes to the movie This Is the End with James Franco. It's just super duper funny. It's a very funny movie, by the way. But that's basically what the movie is about. It's about the rapture, and it's just these celebrities that are trying to like survive and not stay in hell on Earth, or not die on Earth. There's some of the actors try to go up to heaven and everything by doing good deeds, and it's just it's a very graphic movie, by the way. Another thing too is over where it says EIC, that's a different color compared to the rest of the text, so I'm actually going to type that. That's pretty much what I learned. If I type that, I get more info. The Epoch of Interplanetary Colonization. Epoch Interplanetary Colonization, or EIC, is an interstellar calendar standardization adopted with the establishment of the first off-Earth colony on Mars in 1992 AD, or zero EIC. So another thing too is calendars are a very, very big thing in this universe. It's kind of strange. It was and is the predominant calendar used throughout the known galaxy, although before the Quiet Rapture, many debated switching over to a more standardized measurement of years. IMC, or Interstellar Martian calendar, was especially popular owing to a large population residing on Mars. After the Quiet Rapture, all stations and Starship Alliances still use EIC, aside from Eden, which uses IMC. So there are a lot of terms here. So yeah, very, very interesting. And I think it makes a lot of sense on why they would want to create a different calendar on how to track time, because space is different compared to, a regular tick-tock 12 clock. Mars throughout the solar system is very, very different. It's far different compared to Earth's and everything. I can't remember if it takes longer to go around to orbit around the sun, or if it orbits faster. I can't remember. But let's do Mars. So we got Mars now. So the fourth planet from the sun and the site first off Earth colony in 1992 AD, zero EIC. So Mars was most populated planet in the solar system before the Quiet Rapture, surpassing Earth in 143 EIC. Now all that remains of Mars' former glory is the Eden space station. So all right, let us do. Did I do EIC? I think I did do EIC. Yes, I did. I did do EIC. Yes, I did. I feel so bad now. Oh my gosh. Let's do IMC. So known commonly as IMC, the Interstellar Martian Calendar is an alternative to the more widely used EIC. It was poised to be officially adopted by Mars before the Quiet Rapture, whereas EIC is based on the rotation of Earth. IMC is based on the rotation of Mars, meaning that 1 year in IMC is about 1.88 years of IMC. Okay. So it takes longer for Mars to orbit the sun. So currently only Eden, a former Martian space station, uses IMC. Interesting. All right, now let's look at Eden. I hear you, fish. I hear it. Also, the monster was different in the movie compared to in the game. In the game, I think it's called the frog, but in the movie, it gets a name. I think it's Ellie. I think that's what it was called, Ellie, or at least that's what the concept artist or the artist or the design artist basically named it. And it's a freaking terrifying monster. I love the design of it. So Eden, Space Station Eden, is the largest man-made structure that still exists in the wake of the Quiet Rapture. It was formerly the main station for Mars, and the populations still maintain a strong sense of Martian patriotism and independence, making them a constant threat to the sanctity and security of the COI. It has a current population of 468 and has the only known remaining trees in its interior garden. The COI considers Edens a threat to all collective well-being after their attack on Filament Station. So now we got Eden and now we got COI, two separate space stations who rival each other, and I think it makes sense because after the Quiet Rapture, the population was reduced by like 99%, so there's very, very few people left on the world and the planet. There's some more lore about what happens between the two of them, the two rivalries. But yes, something to also keep in mind is Eden spaceship has the remaining trees in its interior garden. Think of it like the Garden of Eden. There are definitely some stuff that kind of that's kind of like inspired by the Bible and everything of what happens in the Bible, like the Garden of Eden, for example. But it also plays a pretty big part in the movie because Simon, the main character played by Markiplier, was a former, I guess he was part of the spaceship of Eden and everything like that. And when he was younger, you actually see a flashback of him when he was a little kid in the space station Eden, and you see this giant freaking tree, this huge large tree. And I can't remember if like Simon was responsible for the destruction of the Eden spaceship and everything, because there was a war. Spoiler warning, like I said, we're probably going to cover this in this lore over here on the computer, but the COI and Eden had a huge war. And it went on for a while, and afterwards it ended with radiation kind of contaminating the atmosphere to where I think it was Eden or one of the planets was like uninhabitable. So it's the COI ended up taking some prisoners, some convicts from the spaceship Eden, Simon being one of them, and I guess the remaining trees were destroyed. Like they were just gone and stuff like that, which is super unfortunate because, I mean, when you have such little things left, especially with trees, which are so important for this planet, all hope is lost basically. And there was a scene in the movie where I think Simon finds like a keychain or something, or a bracelet, and it holds like a bead, and apparently what was in that bead was a seed of the Eden tree, and Simon kind of, he holds it on tightly and everything. He starts to worship it and all that stuff, and that's just because like it was the seed. It was probably the last remaining seed in the entire galaxy, in the entire universe and stuff. And Simon was just hanging on to it because that's just, like the last bit of hope in his life and the whole world and the whole galaxy. But yeah, one last tree. Can you imagine that? Just one tree throughout the entire galaxy. Tragic. But anyways, man, I ranted on for a while. But yeah, the COI. So the COI. So the consolidation of iron, kind of ironic, right? Iron lung. But anyways, the consolidation of iron, the COI, is a brotherhood of 3 space stations and 2 spacecrafts found on the principle of collectivism and ruled by the popular vote of all citizens, numbering 257 at the time of this entry. Its name comes from the iron and steel materials its 2 main stations are constructed from, and the principle of unity and togetherness in the face of menace from other surrounding stations, such as Eden. Yeah, just crazy rivalry between these 2 ships. But anyways, Filament Station was another term that I believe have not covered yet. Filament Station was the 4th and largest space station in the COI until 362 EIC, when tensions between the COI and Eden erupted in a 9-day battle on the station. The conflict battle ended unresolved when Eden troops resorted to sabotaging the station's reactor. I think it was meant to say reactor, resulting in a critical breach. The breach left Filament Station uninhabitable due to high levels of radiation, and it has sat empty since. Prisoners taken during the conflict has been undergoing conviction realization in the years since, with the final one expected to repay their debts and integrate into COI society by 381 EIC. So yeah, I honestly couldn't have said it better than myself. I try to summarize it as best as I possibly can, but that is basically what happened. They had a 9-day war. It ended pretty badly, and Eden were taken prisoners and were sent off to do these crazy risky tasks that the COI would tell them to do. Otherwise, they'll not get their freedom. And honestly, some of that freedom was bullshit. Some of those people did not get their freedom. They weren't promised that. False promises, basically, from the COI. So conviction realization. I also noticed that it said redacted up there. On conviction realization, a humane form of criminal justice used by the COI where crimes are repaid by rendering service to the general collective. Often this is by performing surveys, maintenance, or other similarly beneficial tasks. Redacted. One of those being convicts going down in a moon filled with an ocean of blood in a submarine. That's just one of the things that they were tasked to do. And the COI did not give a shit if you made it out alive, if you die or if you don't survive. Actually, this is a good one right here. This is not an expedition, it is an execution. When they put you in here, they don't want you to return, and even if you do, and even if they keep their promises, whoa, just heard a loud clicking noise from my mouth. Well, freedom waits for you. If you dying ships in a sea of dead stars, if there is still hope, it lies beyond the veil. Hope in this void is an illusionary as the starlight. I will choose to breathe my last here at the bottom of an ocean, unseen, unheard, and uncontrolled. The background noise is crazy. They will get their execution, and I will get my freedom. This note is also found in the game or in the movie. The computer is also in the movie. Everything in here is basically in the movie. Except the note was not read by Simon. It was actually like an audio recording of a previous inmate or a previous convict and stuff. And also another thing that I found pretty interesting was Simon being haunted by a ghost, which some people theorize was Simon, like in the future, basically giving him hints on what he needs to do in order to basically save the universe in a way. And just reveals the computer to him. Simon, crosses some wires and gets the computer working and basically gets to uncover a lot of lore, similar to what we're basically doing. But yeah, and then the movie just gets super duper trippy. But anyways, there are some areas that we have not explored, and there's also, actually, hold on, let me check really quick. I actually took some notes, by the way. I'm so sorry. Yeah, there were some things that I definitely overlooked. Ocean blood. Okay, never mind. I might as well type in iron lung. So, oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. So the SM-13, one of 4 in service underwater crafts fashioned by the COI for use in conviction realization in the blood oceans. It is designed for deep liquid photography and analysis. All rumors of the SM-13 and similar crafts being used for so-called mob justice by way of forced suffocation or otherwise have been proven false. So, blood oceans is one of them. An unexplained phenomenon that has been unidentified on 4 separate moons since the Quiet Rapture. Moon AT5 and Moon Z-8, oh, there we go, that's another one we did not cover, are most notable locations as they are under the control of the COI. Enough research has been conducted on the blood itself to determine that it is indeed human blood, but we have not discovered where it comes from or how it keeps its liquid form. The ocean on AT5 is of particular interest because redacted. So it's actually kind of crazy. So in the movie, they kind of give you an explanation on, or kind of briefly give you an explanation on why the blood stays in its liquid form, and it's because of heat. Because if you think about it, the only way for blood to stay in its liquid form is body heat, which has to be, at about 97 degrees and stuff, which is very, very toasty. And Simon even says when he's exploring in the ocean, in the submarine, he says, good God, it's freaking hot. And that's just because that's the temperature the blood needs to be in order to stay in its liquid form. And that's another thing too that people started to theorize was is the planet or is that moon actually alive? So many theories about that. But anyways, Moon AT-5. That was another thing that we did not see. This entry has been redacted. See Blood Oceans for more information. Okay. Moon Z-8. Moon Z-8 has historically been used for the realization of COI convictions until the discovery of Moon AT-5. Is that everything? I got Ocean Blood, Moon AT-5, COI, Eden, Mars, Filament Station. I believe I did say, yeah, I did. Yeah, and I said EIC, Iron Lung, which is the name of this game. And that is basically it. So now, there's some other things that I actually want to type in that should be pretty fun. Give me a sec. Okay, noir mode activated. Good God. Yeah, these are some cheat codes that I also learned and want to try out for myself, and that is absolutely creepy. So let's get out of that. All right, CH clear. I believe it's back to normal. CH view. Now you can see ahead. Now you can actually see through the window and stuff, which is explained in the game where you're actually not supposed to. It's actually shut down. So that is such a cool cheat code. I love it. And you get to see all these little creepy looking roots, or at least what I believe are veins, because I think this planet is alive. Oh my god. CH rave. Oh, we're keeping that. Look at this. Oh, that's so freaking crazy. Anyways. CH Ava? Ava? It says speaker was activated, which I have no idea what that is. CH vest. Oh. I got a flashlight apparently. And then the best part, save the best for last. CH Mark. Chico! Oh, that's so cute. God, I love that. All right, I think those are all the cheats. Now, anyways, gosh, it's actually getting hot in my room. It honestly feels like I'm in the submarine itself. Let us explore some areas that we have not gone to. I think I've gone here before, but we're gonna go back there again. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go up there and then go around here. So let's start off with, I believe is 350 to 400. So yeah, happy exploring. Let's do it.
Oxygen notification.
Jesus Christ, that scared the crap out of me. All right, I am near the area. I'm in 375, 373. So 375, 373. What? By the way, it's really nice to actually see through the window a little bit. I do have to press the button and then eventually look up, but it's really not that bad. But so far, I have not really seen anything. At least that's like captured my attention. Is that something? Probably not. Yeah, so far nothing. We're gonna keep going. Uh, 352, 425, 352, 425. So yeah, if I just keep going this way. All right, well, there's really nothing, so I might as well just keep exploring. Eddie, if you can do me a small favor, please transition to the next segment. Do not make it awkward for me. Yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. Make it a cool transition if you'd like. I feel like you didn't do the transition yet. All right, I have made it to what I guess looks like just giant walls / pillars. There's supposed to be like 3 of them, so there's one of them right there, and then the rest of them are to my left. Huh. Because I'm at 705.98, which is like right here, like down in the, like right in the middle between them. And I'm not really saying anything. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going. I keep hearing weird noises, so that's definitely a plus. Let's see, looking at the map. Oh man, we're just gonna have to go all the way up there then. Go all the way up there and see what else we can find. Alright, I believe I am here. So, in case you haven't noticed, there are pillars near me, right next to me, which is absolutely wild. So there are some theories. As a matter of fact, I feel bad for actually not mentioning the YouTuber who actually broke down the movie and the game in general, did an amazing job. MrHunteru did a breakdown of the game and the movie, did an amazing job. And one of the theories that they shared was that this planet, before it was covered in blood and oceans of waves of blood, it used to belong to like a temple, or this was a temple and stuff, because otherwise what else could this structure basically be? And that was just one of the biggest theories that they had in this game. And then another theory was that that was pretty wild to me actually, was this is basically hell. This planet is just hell. And the reason why the theory was that this place could be hell was because the portal that we see, or at least the star, the light that ends up shaking our submarine actually, which is located over here. The theory was that that wasn't just a light, a bright light under the ocean of blood. It was actually a portal. And when you go in it, you end up teleporting over here, which was very, very trippy. It's also a light that's shown in the movie. It's in the movie. And Simon is basically convinced to touch the light, or basically ram his submarine into it. And he starts tripping balls. He starts hallucinating. As a matter of fact, throughout most of the movie, Simon begins to hallucinate a lot because of the low oxygen levels, along with, you know, the super heat and being alone, and then also getting a concussion and knocking himself out unconscious. A lot happens to Simon in this movie. A lot happens to him, but the light is in the movie and he crashes into it, or he touches the light. He actually, okay, so there's another thing too that happens in the movie that I keep forgetting. He interacts with the fish. He interacts with the monster, and the monster communicates with Simon and begins to kind of just manipulate him in a way and convince him to basically give in and die. Like that's pretty much what the monster tries to do. And it is revealed in the movie, it is revealed that that monster was made up of, actually, you know what? I'm gonna save it for later. I'm gonna save that for later. We're gonna keep exploring. I'm gonna tell you the big reveal here in a little bit, but that's basically what happens. Simon interacts with the light and he just starts tripping balls like freaking crazy. Like he just, oh, fire, fire, fire! Oh, save Markipoo's face. Save his face. Oh, thank God. All right, we're good. Oh, Chica, you're so cute. You're okay. You're okay. I'm waiting for the monster to show up, because the monster that we see through this big screen is different than what the monster was that we've seen previously, or that attacks us in the end of this game. And many also theorize that it is a dragon, and the dragon is another way of saying that it is the devil. And that was honestly kind of a crazy theory, kind of a crazy reveal. Really gets your head spinning and everything. But the reason why I don't want to talk more about the monster in the movie is because the big revelation is actually pretty big, and I need to get to this one location over here before I can talk about it. But anyways, let's go up here really quick. Where am I? All right, we are here. And nothing? 300 to what? 820? Huh. I'm honestly surprised that some of these areas don't really have anything, as far as we know. That is honestly very, very surprising. Okay, so that basically means we're definitely gonna have to, oh, let's see what's up here. Nope, just a wall, I think. Get a little closer. And yeah, that's just a wall. All right, never mind. I guess let's just go all the way over here then. So, woo, having some fun. Oh shit, Jesus. Oh, hey Mark, how you doing, bud? That is crazy. Oh my God. No freaking way. What? Okay, well that was new. Okay, that was actually really good. I really like that caught me off guard. I was expecting the giant eye that we've seen from the last playthrough. anyways, that giant eye is supposedly like the devil, quote unquote, because when you look around its eyes, it's very scaly, and it doesn't look, the same as the fish that we normally see that like lurks around and stalks us and stuff. So that's why, like in MrHunteru's videos, like he mentions, like, I think the eye is actually something else. I think that eye was actually like the devil who just like saw us and was just like, I'm gonna fuck with you now. And yeah, but it's absolutely wild because in the movie, you don't really see the devil, so as I would say. But when Simon does trip balls in the movie, he actually sees an entity. I can't say it's the devil. I can't say that's who it is. That he sees, but it's just a giant eye when he's tripping balls. He sees it and it starts to just like see him and manipulate him in a way, and honestly kind of tries to like convince him to kind of just give in. And there's a huge theory. Oh my gosh, it's super duper loud. But there's a giant theory that MrHunteru says that in the video, that the entity that Simon sees, the giant eye, is a god, or is like a version of a god, from a different universe, from a different dimension and stuff, and is the cause of the quiet rapture. And what this entity tried to do was it wanted to peep through our universe and see what it was like, see what this earth or what this whole universe is like. But him doing so, or it doing so, came at a cost and ended up causing the quiet rapture because the entity wanted to see the universe in a way that it could see, in a way like in its own perspective, in a different perspective compared to what we normally could see. And that entity, that giant eye in that movie, is what caused the quiet rapture. And the monster, and the fish, or whatever the heck, that's like manipulating Simon and like talking through him through his mind and all this stuff, is trying to basically just make him give in and just be all like, hey, just die with this planet, die on this moon, become one with the planet, become one with the submarine, become one with us. And that's just what it tries to do, basically. And the entity doesn't really do much. It kind of just like watches and lurks around and kind of just sees how everything plays out. But it was just a crazy thing that MrHunteru was talking about in his video, which I would highly recommend that you should watch. It's a great breakdown. They're great breakdown videos for Iron Lung, for the movie and the game. Absolutely amazing. So honestly, he explains it way better than I do. I'm not doing a really good job. I'm doing the best I can. But anyways, that was a pretty funny moment. We're gonna keep exploring, so let's just keep going before I can give you guys the big reveal. All right, 775 to 705. Here it is. Almost ran into it. There it is. I think we found it. That, in case you can't read, that says SM8. So SM8. Actually, let's type it down on the computer real quick. Oh man, look at this blood just rising up. All right, SM8. Oh my God, we got an achievement. Burner subs. We got it, guys. All right. Hopefully they don't redact this before updating the database. What most people don't understand is that not all subs are built equal. The SMA isn't a burner sub. It really is for exploring and surveying blood oceans. If they send you down in the Iron Lung, they don't give a fuck if you come back or if the sub comes back, because it's a pile of garbage and you're a piece of shit. You come back with photos, great. You sit down there and suffocate quietly, even better. But if they send the SMA down, one of the scientists is piloting and they all expect them to return. And now the SMA is in the blood ocean in pieces. No, not hit a rock pieces or sprung a leak pieces. It looks like something tore it up. And the weirdest thing is that nobody else seems surprised. We might have found the perfect or the first planetary life since the rapture, and they're acting like it's no big deal. I know you're next in line for a realization in the Iron Lung, and usually that means you won't be seeing the stars again, but they don't have an SM8 anymore. They have 3 burner subs and a lot of curiosity about AT-5, and maybe that means you have a chance. So there you go. So SM8 was built for science exploration, and it was meant to come back, but it was gone. It was destroyed. By what? By something. And in the movie, SM8 also plays a pretty big part in the movie. It's pretty wild, actually. That jump scared me for a bit. So the SM8 is found, and it is revealed that the scientist that died, one of the scientists was named Ellen, and the other one was like Ellie or something like that. So those scientists end up dying, and they morph and become the monster in the movie. And if you actually look at a good quality image of the monster, you will notice that there's some faces, there's some like body limbs and stuff like that. And yeah, that's basically what the monster is. It's just a mix of every single freaking scientist that was in the SM8 and was manipulating Simon almost the whole time to basically give in and just die and become one with the planet. Because I guess in theory the planet is alive and is trying to basically consume anything that goes in it. Yeah, because like when Simon is exploring and gets lost like through the tunnels and stuff, it almost looks like intestines, and it is terrifying when Simon interacts with that thing. It is absolutely terrifying, and the thing is basically just the main villain of the movie, and attacks Simon's sub, and also attacks the actress who eventually comes down to help Simon, because Simon actually ends up finding very important info that could potentially answer everybody's questions on what the Quiet Rapture is, maybe how to save the universe, or God knows what. There weren't a lot of details in that box that Simon collects and stuff, but when he tries to send it back to the surface, obviously the fish is kind of against it, the monster's against it, and it's just like, no, you have to die, you have to become one with this entity, you have to become one with the God and die with us, and and just let the earth perish or whatever. And so the actress, I feel so bad that I actually can't remember the character's name either, but she comes down and comes across the monster, and the monster unfortunately destroys that sub with her in it. And Simon, obviously, who's kind of a bad person, or based on his backstory, he's kind of a bad person. He's known as like the Butcher, so he's kind of a murderer. Actually, throughout the movie, he battles of him not wanting to be the Butcher, because that's not his actual self. That's the person that he doesn't want to be remembered as, and he tries to pretty much like kind of suppress those feelings down and want to just be a better person. So he ends up giving in, and it's just like, you want the Butcher? I'll give you the Butcher. So he fights the monster with his submarine, and unfortunately dies. The main character of the movie sacrifices himself and manages to actually get the info out to the surface for others to basically collect and hopefully save the universe. So yeah, that's basically the movie. It's absolutely amazing. There's still more to cover in this. There's still a lot that I'm definitely missing out and leaving out. Like I said, this is all based off of memory, but if you really want to know more about this movie and the lore of this game, feel free to watch MrHunteru's videos. I'll put the links. I'll put the videos and the links in the description. I feel so bad for not phrasing that right. But anyways, yeah, we got one more achievement, so let's keep freaking going. Right, 675, 828. So let us go around and get a picture of this location and hopefully not die. Because, good God, I don't know if I want to. 828. And it is at an angle of 295. Alright. 295, 295, 295. Don't scare me. Please don't scare me. Don't do it. Alright, I'm ready. Oh! You've played this before. Oh my God. I did it. Did I just 100% this? I think I did. Hold on a sec. Give me a sec. Oh my God, I did. I did it, guys. I am proud of myself. Look at this temple. At least that's what some people think. It's a temple. Oh my gosh. All right, that feels really good. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. That feels really good. I don't think there really is any much more for me to really explore here. I mean, I would love to get every single location again, but I'm assuming that because I got this one, which I thought that if I took a picture of that location with a check mark would kill me, but no, I guess it works however way or whatever order that I want it to be. I could start with the last one up at the top and then go to the portal and then go down here to the other temples, and once I get to the last one I eventually die. I think that's how that mechanic works. That is actually super great. I'm gonna back up just so I can ignore that beeping sound. It's a little annoying sometimes, but look at that. That's wild. That is absolutely huge. Where's the picture? There it is. Wow, such a high quality picture as well. I don't know if there's anything else I need to cover, honestly. Like I said, if I've missed anything, feel free to watch MrHunteru's videos. They're absolutely great. As a matter of fact, MrHunteru in his video said that, like I said, it was just a giant entity or some version of a god from a different dimension that just wanted to see us from its perspective, but when it tried to look into our own universe, it accidentally caused the Quiet Rapture and basically wiped out a lot of humanity, all living things. And a good parallel is actually when Simon x-rayed people. Like, he couldn't see the outside. He wanted to see the outside. He wanted to get out of that submarine just to have a little breather and stuff. And so he couldn't look outside, so what did he do? He x-rayed. Just a crazy, crazy parallel. Honestly, I absolutely love that. Anyways, let me... Screw it, I might as well just crash. Fuck it, right? Just crash into this temple here. Dead. Easy peasy lemon squeezy if you ask me. But anyways, guys, there you have it. That was Iron Lung. Got 100% of completion. 7 out of 7 achievements right there. This is great. I actually really enjoyed this gameplay again. It's so simple and it's so effective. It's so addicting. And I'm just so fascinated by the lore and everything. And also another thing too is the movie and Iron Lung are not canon. They're separate canons. They're not in relation to each other or anything. The movie, I like to think of it as more of an expansion because, you know, it's a higher budget. You can add more to the story and everything. It was also made by, you know, a much larger crew. Iron Lung was just made by, you know, David Szymanski and stuff, but just a well done game and a well done movie. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed playing this game. Feel free to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. And yeah, that's about it. Take it easy, and thank you so much for hearing my own opinions and sharing some theories and everything. And shout out to MrHunteru. Anyways, I'm just gonna repeat my whole outro again. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed playing this game. Feel free to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. And yeah, that's about it. Take it easy.